kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Welcome everybody into Sim Racing Media tonight. We have the iSNF Racing Series here coming to you from New Hampshire, Season 7, Round 23. Last week, we were able to play witness to them going around to Iowa. Justin Barkley was able to lock himself into the round of 4 as he was able to get a win. Adrian Arenas, Charles Robertson wound out that top 3. But from there, we will head over here to New Hampshire. A little bit different track. Pretty flat 1-mile circuit. I am Mike Damoni up in the booth this week. Joined with me from a long time ago, we haven't worked together in forever, is Liam. Liam, man, how's it going?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm ready to get some racing action here at the Magic Mile. We've got 200 laps, and who knows what's going to happen. We've got 29 hungry drivers here looking to get a win. And, of course, we've got our playoff drivers looking to advance. It's going to be a crazy race here, I think. Super humid, going to be kind of hot, slick. Guys have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, they definitely do. Angel Hernandez is leading the points right now. Pretty safe bet he's going to be able to advance to that championship round. Tristan Bailey had a little bit of scare over the last couple of days with his newborn that is on the way. Justin Barkley in 3rd with Adrian Arenas in 4th in points. Charles Robertson just sitting on that outside of that top 4. Jeff Weimer, Isaac Wilson, and Franz Berschneider are there as well. So that is where we kind of sit with those 8 drivers. We'll take a little closer look here. Let me bring up the bubble drivers here. So as you can see, Justin Barkley was able to advance by his win last week. Angel Hernandez plus 42 on that bubble side. Tristan Bailey plus 12. Adrian Arenas plus 3, and then go on back to the cutoff there. So we'll see how those drivers stack up here once we get rolling once again here. But what do you think this race has in store for us, Liam?
Well, I think it's going to be tough for guys like Weimer and Isaac Wilson, especially Franz Bretschneider, who's at the tail end of that bubble battle. They're going to be looking to go all out and try to get a win here. Charles Robertson, he's only 3 behind the cut line right now, so I think he's going to be more looking at a points game. Other than that, we've got 21 drivers that are not involved in this bubble battle that want nothing more than to take a checkered flag. And at a track like this, we've seen some calamity before. We've seen how hot and slick this track can get, how tight it gets through these corners. Might be a little bit of a battle of attrition, but I tell you what, best driver's going to earn it at the end of the day.
Yeah, that is definitely what I envision seeing here today. Like I said, it is a flat 1 mile track, so 200 laps. We do have a couple stage breaks, 60 and 120. So look for drivers to try and get those bonus points, especially the drivers that are on that bubble battle there. When we were looking at the points, just
I
would say just outside of that top 8 is Rhea Ferris. So she right now is leading the points just behind there. So see how she can do today. She also, luckily enough, was able to plug into the generator on her Ford F-150 to get the files updated and everything, and get her rig plugged in and ready to go. So she is racing because of that Ford F-150.
Yeah, and massive props to Rhea for, using that intuition to utilize that Ford F-150 to get us the information that we needed to, provide you guys a good show. Not only that, but to be able to get out of the racetrack. That this isn't a Ford-sponsored event, but goes to show you the power of the Ford F-150.
Sure what's going on.
Qualifying is underway now. Couple of drivers getting out here early. Yeah, Adrian San Jose Arenas getting out onto the racetrack. Rocking the Stuart Haas number 14 this week, like most other weeks. Little bit of technical issues here.
On with that.
Guys get 4 laps to try to get the best lap down. This is going to be lap number 3 for Adrian. Runs a pretty good line there through turns 1 and 2. Now we'll take a look at Joshua Grasso. Deep entry into the corner, going to slide up a little bit into that darker patch. It's not going to be quite as bad as, like if you get out of the groove at Indy. It's not going to be that drastic of a change, but might be a little bit before rubber starts getting laid down up there. I mean, we saw some guys touching that in practice. Grasso trying it once again there in 3 and 4. Seems like he's got a strong run coming up off. He'll start up another lap here. Grasso currently the quickest with a 29.67. Take a look at Tristan Bailey, who goes 3rd quickest after his 4th lap. Grasso put down 4 laps already as well. Arenas Gonna try to come back to the pits and reset for one more. Jeff Weimer's out on the racetrack as well, just inside the top 10 in qualifying order. He's got another couple of laps to try to improve. A little bit loose coming up off of turn number 2. Doesn't seem to hurt him very much. Slides up wide through turns 3 and 4. We'll see if he's going to be able to improve on his time this time around. Crosses the start-finish line. He's going to jump up into the top 5, and he's got another lap to try to improve. Meanwhile, Curtis Kelly just jumped up into 4th place. He's got 2 laps. Well, he's going to have 1 after he gets warmed up here. Going to try to improve on his time. Grasso sitting on the pole with a 29.67, 2/10 faster than Dustin Stallings, who sits in 2nd, a 29.88. 29.89 for Tristan Bailey, and Curtis Kelly trying to improve on a 29.90. He's going to start his final qualifying lap. We'll see if he can improve. Seems pretty solid coming up off of the corner. Right up next to that wall, coming up off of 2, utilizing all of the racetrack he can. Dives it in deep, slides up a little bit, but that seems to be where it's quick here in qualifying. We saw Grasso up there, and he slides coming up off of turn 4, and that's going to abort the qualifying run. Steven Sear looking to improve. And time has expired on the qualifying session. Looks like about 70% of our drivers were able to get all 4 laps in. A couple of guys tried to get in and cool off their tires. Now we are ready to rock and rumble. It's the Minnesota man, Josh Grasso. Gonna start on the pole. Dustin Stallings to his outside, Tristan Bailey, Curtis Kelly, Jeff Weimer, Angel Hernandez, Christian Delgado, Justin Barkley, Adrian Arenas, and Joey Maines round out our top 10 here in qualifying.
And then you go on back and you have Brendan Maddox and Jason Ricketts. You got Jimmy Johnson and Chris Smith in row 7. Row 8 is going to be Alexandre Monet. Steven Sear.
Canadian.
Yeah. William Maddox is going to be in 17th with Franz Berschneider back in 18th. Rounding out row number 10 is going to be Michael Everhart and Michael Gervey.
Just behind them, friend of the show, Matt Metler, going to start in 21st. Larry Fairman to his outside. Matthew Gary and Charles Robertson make up row number 12. Shane Posey and Shane Griffin, the row of Shanes, number 13. Rhea Ferris, Casey Tomlinson, and then Bob Wyckoff is going to be rounding out the field here, rocking that Taz number 3 Goodwrench car for open paint night. We'll go ahead and, we'll try to get a good angle of some of these other paint schemes. It is open paint scheme night, so these guys had a little bit more freedom on what they could do. Usually you get some bonus points for running the authentic car that, provided it's out. This week, creativity got to take hold. See that high velocity TV number 16 of Christian Delgado. Definitely not an AJ Allmendinger car, but looking pretty good. Castle.io Smart Alarm, number 33. Brendan Maddox rocking that Chevy. Looking good. Big fan of that Steve Park car for Jim Johnson. Might not be 7-time champ, but we will treat him as such in the Steve Park car. Oh, and that beautiful 21 Citgo to his outside for Chris Smith. There's a lot of good looking cars out here. Monet Virtual Paints for Alexander Monet.
What car do you see there?
I'm showing the number 3 Taz car. Do I have to reset?
Got the Wrangler number 3.
Oh.
But
I'll get a reset on mine, and
oh, I'm kind of partial to this Red Sox scheme here.
that is a good-looking car. I'm always a big fan of when the Roush cars bring that out. Haven't seen it in a while. Cars are rolling through turns 1 and 2. Getting ready for the green. These drivers, I mean 8 of them, do not want, 7 of them rather, do not want to give up an opportunity to race for the championship.
No, they
One of
definitely.
them's already locked in Barkley.
I'll say they definitely don't want to do that. Every point is going to matter, so they'll be racing pretty hard for the stage points if they don't think they can get that victory here. But we should be about ready to get going here.
Yes, sir. The pace car is going to make that hard left turn. Once again, the field is in the hands of the starters. Joshua Grosso sees it. Green flag is in the air, and we are racing here in the Granite State 200.
Big move from, looked like Brendan Maddox.
Contact already. Around goes the 42 and the 6. Delgado's going to get caught up. Jimmy Johnson slides through, and the 3 also around Alexander Monet. Big trouble in the first couple of corners here. Looked like Michael Everhart might have gotten a piece of that as well. Dustin Stallings in the 6, started second place. He's all the way back in 27th position.
Now let's see if we can take a look here. Different look. It looks like Dustin Stallings gets a little slow going there.
Yeah, the 42 tries to cut down to his inside and just clips that left rear. Kind of upsets the 42 and sends it back into the 6, and then we've got synchronized spinning until everybody else inevitably piles in.
Now Jeff Weimer trying to slow it down. Christian Delgado also doing the same, and
Jimmy Johnson jumps down to try to avoid it. Somehow the 3 and the 71 get turned around in the back of this. Well, I thought Jimmy Johnson got a piece of it, but looks like he was able to get through.
yeah, it looked like he was able to get through. But what I noticed when we first started here is you see Brendan Maddox just make a left-hand turn down to the inside to go by Jimmy Johnson down there. I thought he was going to be the one to bring out the caution, but it kind of all got set off in front of him. Luckily, he was able to get down out of the way, and everybody pretty much was able to, get around it. Except for, like you said, the 3 and 71 back there.
Yeah, interesting to see here. I wonder if the 71 of Everhart just, a little bit later on the brakes. No, the 3 locks it up, spins out on his own. And the 71 does the same. Lock it up, crank it down, try to avoid everything. And both drivers did a good job of getting through without any damage.
Well, speaking of drivers getting through without any damage, Tristan Bailey, Angel Hernandez, Justin Barkley, Jeff Weimer, all were able to get through, and it looked like also Adrian Arenas was also able to get through. So championship drivers avoid calamity on the first lap of the race.
Yeah, it didn't seem like, we saw Weimer and Arenas make a little bit of contact, but it didn't look like anything significant. Obviously, they've decided to keep it off of the pits. They're not gonna get that damage looked at right now, so feeling pretty confident about those race cars right now.
It looked like Michael Everhart didn't come down pit lane, but got stuck there behind the pace car. He's able to get around here on the wave around, and we'll get stacked back up 5 laps in here in the Granite State 200.
Doubled up once again. Grasso taking the outside lane over Tristan Bailey. Angel Hernandez on the inside. Justin Barkley up on the outside. He's trying to go 2 for 2. Prevent one of his competitors from locking their way in.
See what happens here on this next restart here. If patience are going to be a little more of a virtue here as the pace car makes that left-hand turn. Grasso with the button, and he is down and away. It's almost a car length to the good here behind them. Tristan Bailey, Justin Barkley side by side.
A little bit more of a spread out start here. Bailey looks to the inside coming up off of turn number 2. Not quite enough there. Weimer clears himself in front of Delgado. Curtis Kelly in that 42, able to recover from that spin.
Yeah, Curtis Kelly was kind of bottled up in there, didn't really have anywhere to go. He is back out here running top 5, looking for more as he goes to the inside of Angel Hernandez, side by side.
Yeah, these straightaways are long. You'll see these guys try to utilize a little bit of side draft down the end of the straightaways to pull that car back. Might help you pull off a little bit of a slide job. Jason Ricketts goes off the racetrack. No caution so far, but he's fallen back considerably. Still side by side here in this battle for 4th as Kelly works to the inside. The caution is now out. Casey Tomlinson with a problem. Bob Wyckoff involved as well.
Now let's see what happened back here towards the back of the field.
Oh man, I wonder if that was a poor downshift. Bob Wyckoff sees that and spins it out as well. And I tell you what, now I'm seeing Bob in the Hollywood video 47. I updated my paints. That's what I'm seeing him in. So we do apologize if we ever put the wrong paint scheme on. Trying to quickly address those situations. Didn't really look like significant contact for the 7 of Tomlinson. Bob Wyckoff, he's going to be in last place, but he is still on the lead lap. All 29 of our drivers are on the lead lap after the first 2 cautions. Couple of quick ones here. 10 laps in. But you can see how humid it is. Probably a little bit of moisture on the track that's making this a little bit slicker, a little bit tougher on these guys. Of course, with the new rain update in iRacing, you never know just how slick a slick track can be. It's not set to rain here, but you know, the humidity, the mist.
I'll say it's 97% humidity. Close enough.
The track is definitely now capable of taking on a little bit of moisture. So that Hot Wheels 23 up on the top. Are you seeing Hot Wheels as well?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're squared away from the beginning of the race. Hot Wheels 23 elects the outside once again. JJ's team number 19 on the inside, coming up off of 4.
And he's down and away again, gets that huge jump, spreads it out a little bit. Tristan Bailey also gets by, and it looks like we have
Maddox, William Maddox in the back.
Schneider and Maddox both went around.
This is a treacherous track. No caution for that. These restarts are treacherous. These turns are long and sweeping. It's easy to slide up and make a mistake. Try to get a look at what happened there in a little bit here as these guys are racing hard, coming up off of turn number 4 to the outside of Jimmy Johnson. Looked like Delgado was trying to make that pass, and he may have succeeded.
It looks like Jimmy Johnson, Delgado still side by side.
A couple of Pennzoil machines, the 22 just in front. Justin Barkley, last week's winner. Delgado slides up the racetrack, almost up near the wall. This guy's just able to use so much momentum up there. It's really tough to complete a pass as Johnson goes down to the inside.
Yeah, Johnson
up the racetrack goes Barkley. Johnson's going to complete the pass on Delgado, but Barkley stays next to him.
Yeah, they were almost 3 wide there for a minute as Barkley went clear up to the wall. Looks like he's got gets a little bit loose in that rear end as he's sliding around the track.
Caution's going to come out again. Brandon Maddox.
Well, let's go back and take a look and see what happened to Franz Birchsnyder here and William Maddox earlier in this run, and then we'll jump back to the caution that just came out. Oh, the 8 just gassed it up a little bit, went a little bit straight.
There's a lot of contact in a little bit of time there.
Yeah, let's take a...
Good job by both drivers to get off of the track.
Yeah, it looks like just a... looked like 2 cars just kind of going for the same spot here, but let's see what happened here with Brendan Maddox. Looks like he had a couple issues as he was going around the track.
A little bit loose there on entry.
And
he gets nailed by that 21 Citgo car. Smith.
He was trying to do what he was supposed to, lock it down, don't slide up the track, and just the 21 just couldn't hold on there and flipped him.
Well, it's the downside of this track being so wide, and we're seeing these guys go all the way up to the wall, but you know, there's still a benefit to exiting the corner low. You know, if you can get a diamond arc and, you know, straighten up your exit, there is a benefit to that. And I wonder if that's what Smith was working on there. Didn't quite know the issue that was in front of him until it was too late.
Yeah, that definitely looked like something that could have been on his mind there.
Joshua Grasso, he's been out front for them all. Tristan Bailey has restarted in second for basically all of them as well. Curtis Kelly, Angel Hernandez, Jimmy Johnson up to 5th place.
We got a couple biggest movers of the race. Looks like Charles Robertson and Shane Griffin both up 14 spots. So heck of a run early in the race.
Doing a fantastic job, and maybe that damage on the 21 wasn't as bad as we thought on that replay, because he's stayed out. He's looking like he's ready to continue.
See if that 23 Hot Wheels machine can get the jump he's got the last couple restarts.
Yeah, he's been super strong when the restart's been in his command. Pace car makes that hard left turn once again. And on the gas goes Joshua Grosso, and he is down and away big time this time. He's got 2 car lengths getting down into turn number 1. Can Bailey close it down? He does.
I would say Bailey hanging on, but behind him, Angel Hernandez and Curtis
Jimmy gets
Kelly.
loose. Jimmy got loose there coming up off of 2. He's going to lose a couple of spots. Now on the outside of him is Charles Robertson. Going to try to keep that 54 behind him. That's going to be a tough ask as Jeff Weimer's up on the top side as well. Delgado working the outside of the 9. Joey Main's trying to make headway. He's going to lose a spot to the 11 of Shane Griffin. Or is he?
These guys are battling hot and heavy side by side. Almost 3 wide there. You have the 16 of Christian Delgado, Joey Main, Shane Griffin, all hooked up there, battling pretty tightly. And just in front of them, you have Jimmy Johnson, Charles Robertson trying to battle here for position as well.
Almost 3 wide coming up off of turn number 4. Robertson not able to keep his nose in there, but Jimmy able to keep his nose not quite. No, there's contact with the 54. Delgado hard into the wall upside down. The caution comes out. The 54 cut down in front of the 1. Contact was made that sent the 54 into the inside wall and back up the track. Heavy contact into the 16 of Delgado. Sends him into the fence and upside down.
Now let's see if we can... if we can take a look here.
I think the blimp cam might be or the chopper, an overhead view, at least of the block.
Let's see here.
Well, yeah, this is as good a view as you can get.
Oh, pulls down, taps the brakes.
Oh, man.
And back up the track.
He does get Jimmy again.
See here if we can get in here from the chopper. Here they come down the front stretch. Johnson on the inside. It looks like Robertson is clear initially.
He is clear. He jumps down. And he slows down. I don't know why. I don't know if he was just trying to, get checked up for the corner a little bit earlier than the 1 car was expecting, but definitely not an ideal situation. See if we can get it in real time.
Take a look here from Delgado's. Point of view here.
I mean,
nothing he
he's still
could have
trying
done there.
He's still trying to drive the thing.
Take a one last look here, and we'll get back to green flag racing.
Yeah, I'm just not sure there.
All right, so they'll get stacked back up once again. We are basically a third of the way through the first stage here. Stage brakes are 60 and 120.
Yeah, it's been a pretty caution-heavy start to this race, which is kind of to be expected with this visibility being a little bit lower. I mean, you can see we can barely see across the track. Inside of the cars, that is multiplied. It's increased. No, JH Racing, there's not a fire near the track. It's just very, very rainy, hot, humid in the Northeast this weekend. And the iSNF Cup Series do their best to replicate the realistic conditions of the weekend. So since it's super rainy, we've got the humidity all the way up. It is a very misty condition, causing this track to be a little bit slicker than usual.
Pace car makes that left-hand turn down pit lane, and Grasso is out once again. But this time, Angel Hernandez stays right with him. Tristan Bailey down on the inside. 1, 2, 3 through turns 1 and 2.
Toyota's making up the top 4. The next 2 are Fords. Oh, hard into the wall goes the 17. Larry Fairman. 48's going to get sideways down the backstretch and collect the 5 and the 3. Huge contact for Fairman coming up off of turn number 2.
Well, let's take a look and see what happened here. Oh, 43, 21, 17, all kind of slowed down just a little bit. 6 gets basically by. It didn't look too terrible, but definitely looked like after the fact we had some issues there.
Yeah, I mean Fairman had heavy contact. 48 and the 99 get kind of stuck together there.
5 and
under caution once again here, approaching the halfway mark in stage number 1. Got about 7 drivers on pit road right now. Rhea Ferris has pulled it off the track.
So definitely going to be a little bit different of a front row here with Hernandez able to get up into P2. Or maybe not, as he backs down to P3.
No, he slid back in. Bailey got a good run and kind of slid in front of him. The 45 slid back in, coming up off of 2, and then the contact between the 17 and the 21 and 43 brought out the caution. Not quite ready to double it up this time. Coming up off of turn number 4.
I was looking back at some of their previous races here, and I don't see any of the previous winners on track. So looks like they haven't been there though since season 5. So
we are definitely going to see a first-time winner at New Hampshire. Could we see a first-time winner in the series? We are now doubled up. Grasso on the outside, Bailey on the inside. Hernandez takes the inside behind Bailey. 42 up to his outside. Justin Barkley, Jeff Weimer, a couple of Penske cars. Jimmy Johnson and Joey Maines. Shane Griffin and Chris Smith rounding out the top 10. Going to be 29 complete. Lap number 30. When we take the green flag, of course, 60 is the stage end. Can't imagine we're going to need a pit stop at this rate. Pace car makes the hard left turn. Grasso down and away. Looks like Bailey's able to stay with him. He's going to try to get to the inside, getting down into turns 1 and 2. That outside run for Grasso coming up off of 2 is just going to be too strong, as now Bailey has to slide in behind. Not quite. He doesn't want to, but now he's going to have to, getting down into turns 3 and 4. Grasso goes in way deep, and Jimmy Johnson all over the back bumper at Jeff Weimer. Both of them go way up the track. Johnson down to the bottom to try to take that position away, and he does. A little bit of a bump and run action there on Jimmy Johnson, or for Jimmy to make the top 5, and now the Curtis Kelly machine just in front of him moves down to the inside of Angel Hernandez to try to take away 3rd place.
Yeah, you just saw how massive run you can get if that car on that top side coming through the corners gets a little bit loose. You can just take advantage and basically put your foot in it, as you know nobody's going to be to your high side, and allows you to float up the track just a little bit here. Curtis Kelly, Angel Hernandez still battling hot and heavy here for P3. Jimmy Johnson just behind them.
Trying to figure out which lane is going to move quicker. Curtis Kelly seems to have that position on the inside. He's going to get clear of the 45. Is there enough speed for a crossover? Jimmy tries to take advantage of the slower 45, and he's going to dive it down big time into turns 3 and 4. He slides up the racetrack, almost 3 wide. Curtis Kelly's going to give him just enough space, and Angel Hernandez is going to try to push Curtis Kelly down the front straightaway so they can both get clear.
Yeah, you saw that Jimmy Johnson was going to make that move as he was side drafting down the straightaway. Was able to pull even and almost get to the bumper of that 42 machine, just not able to clear it off, as Angel Hernandez was able to get to the rear bumper of Curtis Kelly and give him a push down the front straightaway to kind of get Jimmy Johnson back there into 5th position.
Jimmy's doing pretty good up there. 4th start here. Big time slide there coming up off of turn number 2. Out of Orlando, Florida. Suppose you got to know how to drive if you're from Orlando. A lot of, oh, big slide there into Curtis Kelly. Hernandez had to check up. Jimmy did too. Weimer was able to get right to the back bumper at Jimmy, and now he's looking to get under the 42 of Kelly.
Yeah, the 42 of Kelly had a little miscue there. Angel Hernandez had to check up. Jimmy Johnson looking to get a 2-for-1 special here as he has momentum coming down in through the corner.
He's going to dive it in. A little bit of contact there with Hernandez.
Down the front.
Fair in rubbing and racing.
I'll say down the front stretch. Curtis Kelly's looking to see which lane's going to move a little bit faster here, as he's trying to stay with the 45 of Angel Hernandez.
Jimmy got loose once again. That's going to allow Kelly to get to his outside. He's got a big run, and he should be able to clear him down the back straightaway. Good job there by Curtis. He's going to slide a little bit wide into that darker area of pavement. That Klondike bar machine there coming up off of turn number 4. It's a lap down.
That's Rhea Ferris back out on track.
Ferris back out onto the racetrack. Good to see it. She's going to get around Brendan Maddox, who is looks to be with terminal damage, sitting in 29. Christian Delgado in the 16 is also off the track. 17 laps down at this point. Tristan Bailey in 2nd place, sitting pretty, losing a little bit of time lap per lap to Josh Grasso. It doesn't seem like he's trying to push super hard. He's maybe hoping for that 23 to fall back to him later on in this run. If we get green flag laps. I think tire wear is going to be a big thing, especially with how much these cars are sliding.
Yeah, these guys are sliding all over the track, you know, and I'm assuming that we're going to see more of that happening, especially with the green flag run that we are having. But if I'm Tristan Bailey, you know, if you're running P2, you know, just kind of sit there, chill, get your stage points, and you know, wait for the next stage.
Yeah, Bailey's sitting in a pretty good spot right now. I mean, he was up 12 coming into this, and finishing second in the stage. That would net him 9 points, I believe. Given the fact that Angel Hernandez is behind him, he's got a huge gap, so that's not really who he's worried about. That's a 30-point gap. But it's still, you know, good to gain on your competitors. When you're in second, there's only one guy up in front of you, which is a fairly obvious Will Buxton type of statement. But when the guy in front of you is not racing for the championship, it's less of a concern. As Joey Maines, big sideways coming up off of turn 4. He's going to save it. What a save. He was probably 50 degrees cocked sideways coming up off of 4.
Yeah, and New Hampshire is one of those tracks that has that inside barrier as you come down the front straightaway. So luckily for him, he wasn't able to throttle it back up and able to just slide harmlessly basically down the track there and get it going back in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely a sketchy spot where he's loose again. Definitely a sketchy spot where your nose is pointed to the inside wall at a track like New Hampshire. It's scary. It comes at you fast, but Joey Maines able to drive out of that slide. Keep on keeping on here. Holds on to a top 10 spot with that. Charles Robertson able to get around him. 54 Toyota. Driver out of Knightsville, South Carolina. He's 9 wins into his iSNF career, looking for number 10, make that a nice round double-digit number. 33 top 5s. He's definitely had pace.
Yeah, he has pace. He's been on the bubble the last couple races here. He is 3 points behind Adrian Arenas here. So looking to stay inside that top 10, get those bonus points, try and improve his chances on making the championship race there. So we'll see what happens as this stage and race wears on, as we are 16 laps to the stage break.
And one thing that's interesting to note here is that Arenas is running 14th right now. He's outside of the top 10. Not going to get any stage points here, so that 3-point gap could become a 1-point gap after this stage if Charles Robertson is able to hold on. As now you see the 14 moves down to the inside of Smith. Contact into the middle of turns 3 and 4. Got a nose in front coming up off of turn 4, but didn't quite set him up the racetrack with that door bang.
No, just a little bump there. Nothing too major, but we've seen it lead to catastrophe earlier in the race. But both the drivers were able to lean on each other a little bit, make the corner, and get back in the throttle.
And that's just the thing. Oh, big slide there onto Chris Smith. I would imagine potentially on the downshift. These guys trying to get absolutely every bit of torque out of these cars that they can. 5-gear transmission isn't ideal for this type of racetrack, but oh, contact with the 5. Tried to get into Maddox there, or maybe didn't try. Oh, and more cars pile in.
Jeez.
Michael Gerby, Steven Sear, Casey Tomlinson come up into there, and that all started when Steven Sear got up into Maddox getting into the corner. I'm not sure if there was, you know, we can only see it off the side of the screen, but not sure if there was something that happened, if he was just trying to arc his corner or what, but it was just abrupt contact. But the start was Steven Sear in the 5.
It even started in front of that.
Yeah, it starts with Steven Sear in the 5. Gets into William Maddox.
Oh,
Oh, wow. We did not see that.
look at. I think we had 3 different cautions that kind of came out. Oh, the 21 just kind of.
Oh, wow.
21 almost slammed on its brakes. Steven Sir tried to go to the high side, and Maddox was just there.
I
And
wonder
then,
if he just locked it up and couldn't turn. Just looked like that 5 didn't turn. I'm not sure if that happened before or after the 54 incident. But then those other 3 that we saw on the first replay, they just kind of piled into Steven Sear car.
looks like he
Yeah, I think he did lock up.
Yeah. Looked like he just saw the 20 stopping, so he just slammed on his brake, or the 21 stopping. As the 20 missed the brake pedal there. See if we can see what happens here with the 20.
Yeah, he doesn't see that there's an incident in front of him. We're still green there. So yeah, I mean, they didn't see that the caution had come out. They didn't know that that 5 car was there.
Yeah, and you can't hardly see anything when you're that close to a car behind you or in
But
front of
even
you.
watching on that last replay, while they were going into 1, the lights were still green.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even looking at those reference points, you don't have your crew chief telling you the caution's out. You're still full gas racing it. So that's just a really unfortunate situation there for the 20, for the 7.
Yeah, he'll go on board here with the
But if
20
you
machine.
watch on the wall, you watch those caution lights.
Lights are
They're still green. There's a crash up there.
Still
Lights
green.
are still green. Yeah, there's smoke, but yeah, I don't know. It's a tough spot to be in. You know, ideally, don't want to get caught up in that, but I don't know. When you see smoke and green lights, it gets to be a confusing time.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do? I mean, did somebody just kind of slide a little bit and are still going the right direction, or what kind of what happened there? But one guy.
Well, we're setting up our restart here with 10 laps to go in the stage. Just ran our longest run of the race so far at 20 laps. See if we can go 10 more here. Green flag back in the air. Grosso able to get away strong once again. He's been amazing on these restarts and been amazing on the long run or medium run. Hernandez looking to the inside of Bailey. Weimer up in 4th. Sear getting back out of the racetrack. Jeff Weimer looking down to the inside of Hernandez. He slides way up the racetrack into Hernandez. Sliding is Jeff Weimer down the racetrack. He's going to save the car.
Yeah, heck of a save. Stacked up half the field behind him as they were 3 wide trying to avoid that 2 machine.
This is going to be an interesting entrance into turns 1 and 2 here. Everybody seems to be okay up in front. Around goes the 22. And the 99. Big contact for the 22 of Barkley.
And the 99.
The 8 is going to pile into there as well. Brett Schneider. Jeff Weimer.
Oh, the 99 just slid up the track.
Yeah, Barkley about had it saved until he came back down into the 99. Great job by Dustin to get stopped. Not hit anything. Dustin Stillings in the 6. And have known that 99 was trying to get down and give the 22 more space to save that car, but with those two coming up behind him of Sear and the 43,
Split up and just tapped him in that left rear quarter.
yeah, and I mean, he's trying to cut down as far as he can. These cars behind him are trying to squeeze into a hole, and everybody just,
Yeah, 43 winds up turning the 99 a little bit, just trying to stay off of each other, just nothing they can do about it. As the 99 is sideways through the track, you have the 2 that gets into him. The 8 tries to figure it out, but runs right into the back of Weimer.
yeah, tried to split into a hole that just hadn't shown up yet, and he didn't really have anywhere to go in the first place.
Yeah. The 6 machine just slowly makes his way through the field there.
A little Saturday night drive. Dustin Stallings, though, I mean, started up in the second place, got turned around on the first lap. Kind of working through some attrition right now. He's got a lot of cars behind him that are laps down, that have been involved in other contact. Top 15 stay out on the racetrack.
Yeah, it looks like they brought out that caution just outside of that window to end the stage. So we're going to stack them back up here, have a little shootout for stage points.
Yeah, a number of playoff drivers have had a little bit of trouble here. Robertson getting sideways and hitting the wall. Jeff Weimer, Franz Bretschneider. Adrian Arenas is back up into the top 10, looking to gain some stage points. Increase that gap back to Charles Robertson. Jeff Weimer with damage from that last caution there.
The lights are out. They get stacked up. Grasso once again is going to pick that high line. Been dominating up there all night.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal on these restarts. He's been phenomenal getting through these corners. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. '48 at Jason Ricketts getting past to go to the end of the line.
So pace car makes that left-hand turn. Grasso with the button once again in the Geico restart zone, and he is down and away, and he is pulling away once again from Tristan Bailey. Three wide back behind him. Hernandez does not want to be there as he goes all the way down to the grass. Angel Hernandez.
Maddox in the back. William Maddox around. Oh, and Brett Schneider gets into the back of Hernandez at the tail end of this thing. That is definitely going to end the stage.
Wow.
Calamity ensues.
Let's take a look here at Angel Hernandez and his driving as he gets put three wide in the middle. He saves it pretty well there. 8 gets a little bump there. See what happened to Casey Tomlinson, though. I think he's the one that actually brought out the caution here. maybe not. It's a 71. Everhart. Yeah, here we go.
Oh, the 62 just got sideways on his own.
62.
Came down into the 71.
Yeah, 62 came down, hit 71 and the 1 as he was getting sideways there.
New face up front. Alexander Monet.
Waiting to
More
see.
pit stops happening up front here with the leaders.
Trying to.
Looks like the 6 of Dustin Stallings is gonna inherit the race lead. He came in on that lap 47 caution. So he's gonna be able to stay out here relatively comfortably. Gonna Bob Wyckoff.
Lights are off on the pace car. Stallings back up front after starting on the front row.
Yeah, he last pitted at 47. Bob Wyckoff on 48. 58 for Curtis Kelly. Dustin Stallings in the 6. Bob Wyckoff in the 47. Jimmy Johnson in the 1. Curtis Kelly in the 42. Joshua Grasso, who's led every lap up to the stage ahead. Going to restart on the outside in 6th place, outside of Joey Maines. Kristen Bailey and Chris Smith. Alexander Monet. William Maddox round out the top 10. Dustin Stallings ready to lead us down. His second chance at a front row start. First one didn't go so well, but the second time goes a lot better. He's down and away by a couple of car lengths as Jimmy Johnson moves into 2nd place. Gonna get clear of Bob Wyckoff, but Wyckoff fights back. Jimmy down to the inside, coming off of turn 2. Contact between Wyckoff, Kelly, and Maines. They're 5 wide. Are they gonna save it? Monet slides in there. Maines goes around. Wyckoff goes around. We are still green so far. Into the wall goes Monet. He might have some toe link damage there. He's going to try to come down to the bottom of the racetrack. Grasso to the inside of Johnson with just Stallings in front of him. Johnson fights back on the outside. Stallings trying to cut off the inside, and that's not going to be enough as Grasso cuts down. Not quite enough there to get to the side draft, but he's got the nose, he's got the look. Into turn 3, Grasso back up front.
And Grasso able to take advantage and get up to the front. Stallings back in 2nd, side by side. Tristan Bailey on the inside of Jimmy Johnson as they head down the front stretch. Still side by side, almost 3 wide if
Jimmy into the wall a little bit. Bailey gives him extra space. Now Bailey looking down to the inside of Stallings.
Rhea Ferris around. Caution is out on the track.
Ricketts and Tomlinson seem to have some sort of part of this as well.
Let's see if we can. Let's see what happened on that restart. Look at how much that 42 of Curtis Kelly just gets pinched as Wycroft just drives him down the track. Looks like Kelly might have said, "All right, you want to do that to me? I'm going to send you down there too." Let's see if we can see what happened here to Rhea Ferris. Sideways. Oh,
man. There's just nowhere to get out of the way here.
No, that's... What happened with Tomlinson here? Oh, he just slowed down. Oh, got a little piece of it. So, looks like 10th on back is either a lap down or in pit lane right now.
Yeah, it's definitely been a battle of attrition here at New Hampshire. These tight but wide corners, it can be very inviting, but very easy to make a mistake here.
So Grasso back out front, assuming he's going to take the high side one more time here.
Oh, absolutely. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Grasso over Stallings, Bailey, Johnson, Smith, Maddox, Kelly, Arenas, Robertson, and Maines. Angel Hernandez able to get out into 11th place. Bob Wyckoff still on the pit lane, just getting off of his pit stall, getting some of that damage repaired.
Yeah, everybody trying to get that damage fixed up. Looking at the championship contenders, it looks like we only have a few left on that lead lap. Saw Justin Barkley go around. His day's probably done as he's sitting currently 23rd. Angel Hernandez trying to pit farm that damage repair to get back to a good race car here as these guys head down the backstretch. Arenas and Roberson right there on that bubble are going to be side by side when they take the green flag one more time.
It'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. We've seen this before with the roles reversed. Grasso on the inside, Stallings on the outside. Although this time they're not waiting for the starter, I think Grasso's going to have this one pretty clear. He goes right away in the box. Green flag is out. Johnson tries to get away strong in the 62 of Maddox. Slow on that restart, slowed up the top side. Johnson up the racetrack and allow for almost a three-wide battle. Second place, Tristan Bailey thinks better at going middle there and going to try to follow the one car through up on the top side. Through a little bit of contact, Joey Maines up into the wall.
Little bump there to the 62, telling him to get out of the way as he has got more speed than Maddox there.
That 62 isn't really fighting anybody super hard right now. He goes way down to the bottom as a round goes. Looks like Shane Griffin in the 11.
Tristan
And
Bailey.
around goes to Tristan Bailey in the 19. From second place. Rather racing for second place. He's going to go around all the way back to 12th place. No caution.
I saw both of those drivers go around in a hurry. Not sure exactly what happened to Bailey. Let's see if we can maybe get that looked at here as everybody seems to kind of settle down on this front row here. Take a look, see what happened to Tristan.
Bad lap to be a Joe Gibbs Racing fan. So he's running in third place here. Just to slide up off the tube.
Just lost it.
Good save. Good job not coming back up the racetrack. Michael
Derby looks like he's coming down pit lane, so.
Yeah, I think he might have spun it on pit entry and was able to correct it, keep it back straight, but
Rosso out to over a second lead now. Jimmy Johnson, Curtis Kelly, second and third, with Dustin Stallings rounding out that top four.
I see Curtis Kelly getting closer and closer to the back bumper of Jimmy Johnson, trying to set him up for a pass. Going to run a little bit wider here. These next-gen cars, we know how they are in the aero department, but this track just seems to be a negator for that. These guys are able to run right up on each other, able to get momentum, run through the corners side by side, especially as you see Jimmy get big time loose up on the top side, going to get loose again coming up off the corner. That's going to allow Dustin Stallings to close in and potentially make a move. Getting down into turn 3, he decides against it. Says, let me try to find a better way to set you up instead of a desperation pass this early in the race. On lap number 75, stage end of number 2 is at lap 120. We've still got a little ways to go here in this stage. A little bit of time for things to kind of settle out. And Bob Wyckoff goes around, coming up off of turn number 4. He's going to come into the pits. No, he's not. Going to stay out onto the racetrack.
That looks like he just got loose coming through 3 and 4 there. Went up, hit that outside wall maybe, and came back down the track, as we've seen happen time and time again. These guys get a little bit loose and just the car just wants to go around. Whoa.
And around goes Jimmy Johnson. Hard into the wall.
That was a hard right-hand turn.
The caution did not come out. He immediately towed. So we are still green. Man, I tell you what, it is a bad time to be in the top 3 if you are not the leader.
I don't know what happened. It's like that that steering, he just overcorrected and went and snapped loose right into that outside wall.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I mean, we'd seen him loose throughout the middle of the quarters, throughout the exit of the quarters. That car was not happy. It was sliding a lot. Eventually, you know, that last slide just became a little bit too much. The overcorrection into the wall. Unfortunately, Jimmy's going to be out of this race, if not probably 60 laps down with that wall contact.
Yeah, as he's taking his time getting towed to pit lane. Takes quite a little while here. We can find some action on track. Looks like it might be back here. Arenas and Chris Smith are pretty close on track. Joey Maines and Robertson right back there as well.
It's important because Robertson needs to get around that 14 if he wants to have any shot of making it to championship race. I believe that's next week at Nashville.
Cool. Yep. Music City 200 season finale next week. Championship 4 going to be battling it out to see who wins season 7 here.
So that's just another reason that this race is amplified, is now Joey Maines tries to get down to the inside of Arenas. Not quite able to get there this time, but Charles Robertson wants to get around him. He wants to try to take that last Final Four spot. We know Justin Barkley isn't going to go 2 for 2, and Angel Hernandez hasn't quite had the race to take away that easy win. Isaac Wilson, I don't believe, is here. Franz Bretschneider with heavy contact. Jeff Weimer also with heavy contact. So it kind of seems like this battle for the Final Four is going to come down to Robertson and Arenas. Unless Tristan Bailey has some trouble here. Here comes Robertson down to the inside of Maines. Maines into the outside wall just a little bit. Going to slow down his momentum. Robertson not going to try to fight him super hard on the inside. He's going to let Maines slide up wide and make his own mistake. Robertson unable to use up all the racetrack that he wants to. Look at how close the 9 and the 54 are down the back straightaway. This time he's going to dive it in a little bit deeper, and so is the 9. Trying to use the 14 as a pick. He knows he's got to get around him as well. A little bit loose was Joey Maines coming up off of the corner, but Robertson's going to be able to clear him.
Yeah, Arenas
looks down to the inside of Smith. Robertson, a little bit of a bump from Joey Maines.
Yeah, Arenas saw that 54 coming, decided he was going to try and make a move on Chris Smith. Didn't quite have enough, but he does this time as he goes down to the inside. Robertson goes to follow him down through.
Yeah, he can't wait at this point as around goes the 7 in front of him. Casey Tomlinson in the outside wall, backwards. See if he takes a toe.
Looks like Angel Hernandez also was involved in their championship contender down once again.
Caution's going to come out. Casey Tomlinson around up against the outside wall in turns 3 and 4.
Let's see what happened here. There we go. Bailey, Hernandez starts to slide, noses it into that outside wall.
When he immediately toes, he knows he's in the dead center of the racetrack, and he's got no other option.
Let's see what happens with the 7 here. Oh, we saw the 42 coming up of Curtis Kelly turn back down the racetrack and just slid back up into the wall. Stayed on the track and didn't go to pit lane, so that's what brought out the caution. See if anything else happens here. I don't know. Yeah, caution came out, so him just sitting there backwards on the track is what brought out the caution.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just sit there like that. That's you know, I know it's tough to find a space to get out of the groove there when you've got guys so separated on a long green flag run. But I mean, you've got to make an effort to get out of there because guys are running right up next to the wall, and you know, I hate to say it, but if you can't do it, you got to tow. Just a tough break for Casey Tomlinson there, getting turned around up against the outside wall and, you know, trying to find a way to get it to the inside, get it off of the racetrack. Unfortunately, just didn't have the time to.
Be probably 30 laps to the stage break. It's as they get ready to go once again. Grasso's going to probably take that outside lane, going to have Curtis Kelly down to his inside. We've seen the jump that Grasso's been able to get up there. See if he maybe plays a little game or just sticks to his guns here as he has that Hot Wheels 23 Toyota ready to rock and roll today.
Well, Mike, I've been saying all day, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just keep doing what you've been doing. But the other part of that is don't show your hand until you have to. If you get a late race restart and you've got everybody anticipating you're going to go as soon as possible and then you wait, I think you'll get a bigger advantage when people try to jump it and they can't.
Yeah, you're right.
You do that earlier on in the race, people are just gonna have that inkling in their mind, like he might pull some trickery. He did it before.
Yeah, that's very true. Just stay with what you're doing. Got 30 laps to the stage break.
Truth be told, I think if we got a green-white checker, and Grasso pulled a little bit of a trickery and went to the bottom, I think he'd be golden with just how he's able to get away on these restarts.
I think he likes the high side, though, because when you come through 1 and 2, you can carry a little bit more speed through there.
Yeah, but the way he's getting away, he can take the high side. He can enter low, slide wide. He can do it how he wants. He's basically got this field on lock so far. Still a long way to go. We've got 110 laps to go, 111 when we take the restart here. Grasso looking good. Driver out of Red Wing, Minnesota. Trying to take checkered flag in the Northeast. Green flag back in the air. Let's listen to the sounds of these race cars.
All right, so caution is out again. And it involves one of our championship contenders here.
Tristan Bailey. He was only 12 up above the cut line coming into this race. Had himself an issue here. We saw him go around coming up off of turn number 2, have a good save. We'll see what happens here just behind Robertson, another one of our championship drivers, and the same thing. Arenas gets involved. Tristan Bailey with some rear end damage from that. Arenas is going to have some front end. Not sure how much of that's going to affect the engine or anything like that with the horsepower, but definitely something to keep an eye on. Tristan Bailey and Adrian Arenas, 2 drivers just above the cut line, have problems. Meanwhile, Robertson's up to 4th place.
And Robertson trying to get back up inside that top 4 in the championship standings to battle for the season championship next week. Right now he's on the inside right now is what it looks like from everything I can tell. We'll see what happens when the racing is over.
Well, he's still got a stage about 25 laps from now that's going to award some points. Then he's still got the end of the race, which is where the big points are awarded. We've seen attrition be a big factor throughout the course of this race, so I think if Charles can just keep all 4 wheels on the racetrack, he's going to be in good shape.
The lights are still on the pace car.
Got another time around before we get to double it up here at New Hampshire. Definitely been a fun race so far. It's been a little caution heavy. The action on track has been incredible. We've seen some great battles, some big time slides, some great saves, good recoveries, and we're not even halfway yet. So many stories to be told in this race, and haven't even hit the climax.
Looking at the front row, both of them have had 1 win here in the Cup Series, so looking to try and get another one on the tally there. Both the drivers on the front row are not battling for a championship. They just want a race win. It looks like Curtis Kelly slows down on the inside, kind of makes everybody check up behind him.
Saying a little hello to Joey Maines, potentially. Grasso was up there rubbing doors with the pace car. Giving a little bit of love to our pace car driver. Shaquille O'Neal driving the pace car. That's not Shaq, he's white. Anyways, coming to the restart. Gonna be 23 laps to go here in stage number 2. Green flag is in the air. Grasso gets away. Right behind him, Robertson is able to stay right up on his rear bumper. Bailey jumps down to the inside, trying to make a move for 5th place. That's to the inside of Chris Smith. There's going to be a little bit of contact potentially coming up out of the corner. Around goes, can't tell who that was, but somebody got big time sideways in the back. Might have been the 33. Brendan Maddox, and the 20. Heavy damage to that right front.
$99. 33 clips the wall, tries to save it. Hit the 20.
Right in front of Kirby.
It looks like he tried to do what was right, tried to save it and keep it in the right direction. It just snapped loose and he went back up the track.
Yeah, it's really, really tough to save these next-gen cars, and they get a little bit sideways. I mean, the old cars, you had a lot more slip angle because of the right side being so flat. So when you would get sideways, the air would kind of help save the car. In this car, the right side is not flat. It's symmetrical to the left side. You've got fender flares and stuff like that going out, so the air doesn't parachute, kind of the way that it used to. It just goes over the car a little bit cleaner, and it doesn't allow you to use it to save the car.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the other thing that we've kind of seen with this track is it seems like dirty air, or if you just get right next to that left rear, you can make the car in front of you get a little bit loose, and that's going to allow you to take advantage and make that pass.
That's a good point, Mike. That's something we haven't really seen since the later stages of Gen 5. You get right up on somebody, you can take the air off of their spoiler and get them loose. This lack of a rear diffuser at the short tracks allows that to happen, and I think it works out a little bit better in iRacing than it does in real life, but they're working on it.
So, looking back through the field, looks like that Ricketts has called it a day. Maddox is back out on track. Jimmy Johnson looks like he called it a day there, lap 76.
So potentially 15 cars left in this race. Not sure what the status on Angel Hernandez is, but doesn't look like he has made a move in quite some time.
Well, as of right now, everybody on the lead lap's going to get some stage points here.
Does look that way. William Maddox still on the lead lap. Might be the odd man out here as we get doubled up once again. Going to be 18 laps to go here in stage number 2. Grasso and Robertson now on the front row. I think Grasso might be the only car without a lick of damage here.
Well, when you're out front, you don't have to worry about anybody behind you, so
That's a fact.
tends to keep your car a little bit cleaner there.
So off of turn number 4, once again, that pace car makes the hard left turn. The field in the hands of Josh Grasso. Green flag in the air, and a phenomenal restart there on the outside. The inside did not get going. Curtis Kelly looks to the inside of Robertson. Doesn't quite have enough to make it dig there, but Robertson slides up the racetrack, tries to get to the back of Grasso. Kelly still there on the inside. Tristan Bailey trying to figure out which lane is going to go. Sticks with his Toyota teammate, Joe Gibbs' teammate in the 54. Curtis Kelly has the bottom lane working. A little bit loose coming up off of the corner. A little bit of contact coming up off of 4. Kelly does not want to give this second place up.
No, Kelly wants to stay down there, get the pass, and get back up in that high line and get that momentum turning once again. Tristan Bailey trying to stay on that high line, trying to make it work here. But Robertson just can't get enough of a push to get by the 42 of Kelly.
Not quite able to wring that outside momentum like we've seen other drivers do. He's trying it right now, but Kelly able to get out front, get into second place, and now put a bead on the race leader, Josh Grasso.
Yeah, Grasso's loving what he's seeing in his rearview mirror as these guys are battling it out.
A little bit of contact between Joey Maines and Chris Smith. Going to allow a couple of drivers to get by him. Stallings as well. Wyckoff going to try to find a way around him, but doesn't quite have enough momentum to make the pass. Now here comes Stallings to the inside of Maines. It's a battle for a top 5 position. Maines might have scraped the wall a little bit there coming up off of 2. Stallings going to fall in behind. Try the outside lane going through turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, Stallings trying to find a spot to get that RFK number 6 moving in the right direction here, but just
He's got to run. Got into the back of the 9 of Joey Maines.
He had the corner. He just didn't have the nose to that outside of the 9 car there, but trying it once again here.
He tried to shove him in a little bit faster than he wanted to and then cut down to the inside. Dive in the corner. Joey Maines is right up on that door. He knew what he did, and he doesn't want to let him get away with it.
Ooh, a little bump in there from the 9 and the 6 once again.
6 going to try to the outside once again. We'll see what kind of momentum he can get up off of turn number 2. Meanwhile, Robertson trying to find a way back around the inside of Curtis Kelly for second place, but Kelly just so strong on corner exit. See the 6 in the middle of the corner. I don't know if he downshifts or what, but somehow, some way, he's just able to cut that car down low, and he's right to the back bumper of Maines. While Robertson looks down to the inside once again for second place. He's going to get door-to-door with him on the bottom of turns 1 and 2, and he's going to stay with him on corner exit. Sideways is Tristan Bailey once again. Saves it coming up off of turn number 2, but he's going to lose a ton of positions, and that is not what he wants, but he's only a few points above the cut line. 12 laps, now 11 laps away. No, 10 laps away from the end of the stage. Tristan Bailey's fallen back to 9th. He's still in line to get 2 stage points, but Charles Robertson, he's in line to get 5. Arenas, he's in line to get 3. You don't want to lose these points, especially knowing that something could happen in the last 80 laps of this race.
Yeah, no, you want to stay right there, especially if you're Robertson and Arenas. They were not separated by too many points at all, as now Tristan Bailey gets by Arenas. Well, that's going to knock one more point down for Robertson.
Sitting in 5th place. Got Chris Smith right behind him by a couple of car lengths, but it doesn't seem like he's too ready to make a move. Meanwhile, Stallings was able to get around Joey Maines for 3rd place, and he has put a hefty gap between him and that 9 car. Trying to close in now on the 42, Curtis Kelly.
Yeah, it looks like we were watching Tristan Bailey. Looks like Robertson got a little bit loose, lost a couple positions as he is now back into 5th after battling for 2nd for last couple laps. Don't look now, but the 5 machine back on the lead lap, running inside that top 10 after being down a couple laps.
Yeah, Steven Sear with a good recovery here as well. Just in front of Tristan Bailey. Got about 3 seconds between him and Bailey, but of course Bailey got big time sideways coming up off of the corner. Tell you what though, the last couple of laps, Joshua Grasso has been 2 to 3 tenths quicker than virtually everybody else on the racetrack. Charles Robertson is a little bit quicker than Joey Maines right now. Maines seems to be struggling on the late end of this run. Yeah, Justin Stallings, he's catching up to Curtis Kelly. There's only 3 tenths between them. Curtis Kelly had a little bit of trouble that last time around.
Well, that kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Once we had those green flag runs, tire wear is going to be an issue. I mean, right now you're kind of seeing it as Dustin Stallings last pitted on lap 87 compared to both Curtis Kelly and Joshua Grasso. They last pitted on lap 58. So Stallings definitely has the right pit strategy. We'll see what it's going to mean once we make it through this stage break here.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like the 6 is really pushing super hard on his fresher tires. He's being patient. He's minding his gaps. He's obviously he raced the 9 pretty hard there, but... Oh, big slide out of the 6! Got up out of that apron, that little transition, just above the yellow line. Got him sideways when he put the gas down. Lose him a couple of spots here, and now Charles Robertson trying to fight Joey Maines for 3rd place with just a few laps to go in the stage. Maines a little bit loose. Robertson to the outside. Maines doesn't fight super hard on the inside. Robertson gonna slide. Not really slide, but just take that high, wide, and handsome line up on the top. Yeah, it's clear for 3rd place. 2 laps to go in the stage for Josh Grosso. Robertson did not lose a spot in that, or no, rather, Dustin Stallings. He fell back to 6th place. Got my guys confused there for a second, but 1 lap to go here in the stage for Josh Grosso. Charles Robertson doing everything he needs to gain these points. And he came in 3 points out. I believe he gained 1 stage point at the end of stage number 1, but this time around he's going to have 7, maybe 8.
Tristan Bailey able to make a couple points here as he gets by Steven Sear.
But Arenas, who was the closest driver to the bubble, he's going to be the big loser here on stage points, as he's going to finish this stage in 9th place and only gain 2. Grosso wins the stage. Curtis Kelly in 2nd. Robertson, Maines, Smith, Stallings, Bailey, Sear, Arenas, and Wyckoff round out your top 10 and your points earners. Your final stage point earners of the year. Well, not really. Guys that aren't racing for the championship are still racing for stage points. But our championship 4 won't care about them next week.
They definitely will not. Joshua Grosso wins stage again.
Something happened with Tristan Bailey there.
Yeah, it looked like he stopped.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked like he just stopped as soon as the caution came out.
Fair enough. Well, I suppose now is as good a time as any to let our friends on YouTube know about our partners.
Yeah, might as well. We'll go side by side, and you won't miss anything when we come back. More green flag racing here from the Granite State 200. Back in a moment. All right, here we go. Back to green flag racing. Pace car makes that left-hand turn down pit lane. Grasso with the button, and he is down and away once again, out to already 2 car lengths.
New face up trying to race for second place. That's Joey Maines. Haven't seen him up in the top 3 all day. He's had a recovery effort after a couple of slides, but he's doing a good job up in P3. Driver out of Kego Harbor, Michigan. He will tell you exactly where on the mitten that is. Oh, slide there by Curtis Kelly. There's a bumper on the front stretch. Everybody's driving through it. No debris cautions here on iRacing. So we're told. Grasso is able to drive clear away from the rest of these guys as Joey Maines has now got Curtis Kelly racing him once again for second place.
Yeah, it looks like Steven Sear got around there.
Was able to get it right back to the pit lane. No caution for him. That might be where that bumper came from, as a Hollywood video machine of Bob Wyckoff. Another big slide coming up off of the corner. And Mike, I tell you what, we are very susceptible to these slides coming up off of these corners. We've seen Tristan Bailey get got. He's gotten got by it 3 times. Here's Christopher Smith dealing with it once again.
Well, that's the other thing. These guys probably had those old tires for, quite a while there. They came down pit lane on that stage break. Everybody got 4 fresh tires, and now they're trying to figure out how to drive with them again.
And not used to the fresh tires, not used to the cold. As around goes Joey Maines. Backwards up against the wall in turn number 1. We'll see if he jumps to the pits or if he's going to drive away. He does drive away. 22 back on the racetrack. Justin Barkley. 70 laps down.
I'll say half the field is multiple laps down here.
Franz Bretschneider, well, Steven Sears in the pits right now, but it looks like Franz Bretschneider is about to be the #1 contender for the free pass at 4 laps down. Joshua Grasso comes across the start-finish line. 71 laps to go. He's led almost all of them.
And he has 3.5 second lead over Dustin Stallings, who has a rearview mirror pretty much full of Curtis Kelly. He's seen him back there 3 or 4 times at least here.
Yeah, Stallings was able to get around Kelly, but Kelly doesn't want to let him go. Curtis is fighting that car. You can see him get a little bit wiggly coming up off of turn number 2. Can't quite cut down the way that Stallings is, and I think that's going to benefit the 6 car over the course of this long run. I know there's a huge lead for Josh Grasso up front, but when you get down to the end of this thing, being able to point the car where you need to, that's going to be a huge help when it comes to racing for this win. Maybe Stallings is counting on Grasso to use up a lot of his stuff. We're in kind of uncharted territory here. Like you said, we've got 10 cars that are on the lead lap, 9 cars on the lead lap right now. There's numerous cars that are out of the race. There's going to be a lot of separation between these guys and give us a chance for some really long green flag runs to see what these tires can really do. Especially for a guy like Tristan Bailey, who has slid big time. He's had some huge saves throughout the course of this race. Seeing what his tires are going to do in the course of a long run, I don't know. I'm fascinated by it. Curtis Kelly, big slide there coming up off of turn number 4.
Yeah, those slides are getting more and more prevalent here. And the other thing, we've only went 60 laps on tires. So on tires and fuel. So we'll see if anybody elects to try and just split the stage or maybe keep an extra set of tires in the pits for a late race caution too.
Yeah, that's another thing we haven't really mentioned. 4 sets of tires. Tire limit is low. You can't really just come in and get fresh tires whenever you want to. tell you what, Matt, it seems like Curtis is a little bit quicker than the 6, but the mistakes cost him time.
Yeah,
It's a little bit loose here or there. Right there, he touched the wall.
yeah, it's exactly what you say. Curtis Kelly is pretty quick on track, but the minimized mistakes that Stallings is having, you know, the little bit of slide on exit or on entry or what have you, they are basically evening each other out as they are still, you know, nose to tail one way or the other.
All of this has allowed Joshua Grasso to get up to almost a 6-second lead. Kelly's got to feel like he can cut into that if he can get around this 6 car, but the 6 is really just kind of out for Saturday cruise. Not pushing super hard right now. He's not making mistakes. Here comes Kelly down to the inside. A little bit loose moment there out of the 6. That's just what pressure can do.
Yeah, that's exactly. You get a little bit of pressure and mistakes seem to mount here as Kelly goes 3 wide there in the middle a little bit.
Yeah, Ria Ferris getting out of the way on the bottom. That beautiful Klondike machine. Unfortunately, the day has been as cold as the ice cream bars that sponsor her today. As Tristan Bailey goes around, coming up off of turn number 4.
Tristan Bailey once again gets loose on exit.
Tristan Bailey just cannot catch a break with his right rear tire. Gonna fall back to 5th place, but he's 13 seconds off of the race lead. Lost a good 7 seconds with that slide. Side by side once again for second as the 6 is able to get up front and clear. Work to the outside of Casey Tomlinson, who's a lapped car, and Curtis Kelly gonna get right to the rear bumper of the 6, trying to follow him down, coming up off of the corner. Not quite enough to be able to follow him down, but still close enough to keep him wondering. Looks down to the inside once again through turns 3 and 4. Gets to the inside, and now, oh, contact. I was just getting ready to say the 6 wasn't going to be able to cut down as much as he wanted to, but he cut down anyways and got Curtis Kelly big time sideways through the corner.
Well, we've seen it happen time and time again. Usually it's the driver sliding up into that outside lane, not necessarily cutting down, but Stallings has had that, you know, diamond in the corner pretty well as he was driving down, and he didn't really care if Kelly was there or not.
No, not at all. I think Kelly's still a little bit quicker. We'll keep an eye on these lap times. I think Dustin could afford to use a little bit more throttle coming up off of these corners. I feel like he's not using up all the racetrack that he could. And that might be a good reason why the gap is now 8 seconds to Josh Grasso. That time by Josh Grasso was a half a second quicker than Dustin Stallings.
I was trying to do a little look in to see what the point scenario would be like, where Angel Hernandez is running 18th right now, and he didn't get any stage points in stage 2. So it might be a little closer than we think it will be for that final spot between Roberson, Arenas, and Angel Hernandez.
The only person who can confidently say they're racing for a championship next week is Berkeley. Got the win last week, and it's looking right now, it doesn't look like a playoff guy is going to get the win here. Robertson is probably the one in the best position, along with Bailey.
Yeah, Barkley here out on track running, completing his 76th lap. Spent 48 minutes in the pits.
Currently sitting 67 laps down. Soon to be 68 with the race leader coming up on him. Shane Griffin's gone around. No caution for it. Shane just in front of this group now, or just in front of your leader now. Not going to put much fight in.
No laps down, just move out of the way, let him go.
I mean, Shane's sitting in 11th place right now. He's 8 laps down at this point. No real reason to fight anything. Oh, Shane trying
Into the wall
Ross
again.
Chastain it there. Grasso giving plenty of space to that 22 machine of Barkley.
Yeah, Grasso has plenty of time. He's got almost a 10-second lead right now.
Yeah, he's just cruising away at this point.
Well, and that's the thing. Okay, so when you're running like this and everything seems to be going right, you don't slow down. You do exactly what you're doing the whole time. Because as soon as you start to play it safe just a little bit, that's when mistakes happen. So I don't necessarily blame him for just driving it like he stole it here.
Once again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's done everything right so far today. I mean, pit strategy, on-track ability. He's done a really good job so far. After the first stage, fell back to 5th place. Got right back to the race lead within a couple of laps.
Yeah, that first stage had a couple different pit strategies play out, so he wound up starting back in the field just a little ways, I believe 6th or 7th. Worked his way up through the field pretty quickly. I bet he probably hasn't led, I bet he's led almost every lap except for maybe 7 or 8.
I think you're about right there. Done a phenomenal job here with 51 laps to go. Got over 10 seconds over Dustin Stallings. I tell you what, Curtis Kelly is closing in once again on Dustin. I feel like that 42 is quicker, but
I feel like the 42 might be looking for a little bit of payback. Or
Dustin just gives it to him. Dustin's coming into the pits. 50 laps to go. Dustin Stallings is the first one to bite. I think it's a little bit too early to draw people in, but
I think you have to try and do something to make Grasso, make up his mind about what he's doing.
$11 seconds. That's a long way to go to try to undercut somebody.
Yeah.
Now that Kelly's gotten up to 2nd place, we'll see what these lap times look like. I mean, they're about a 10th different. There's about a 10th difference in favor of Grasso. Kelly now in cleaner air. See if he's going to be able to close in. I think Kelly's just sliding a little bit too much coming up off the corner and really costing him time.
I want to say it looks like only one lap they were about even. Other than that, Grasso's just pulling away.
Grasso's been unbelievable so far today. Kelly tried a little bit something different there, and he was still half a second slower. Bit of a slide there out of Curtis Kelly. Keep an eye on Dustin and trying to see what his gap to the leader is. Right now it's... Oh! Somebody just went around. Caution
Gerby.
for it. Looked like Michael Gerby, yeah. He's had a lot of trouble here today, and definitely hasn't had the day that he has wanted as he smacks the wall once again.
So Grosso out on a Saturday afternoon drive here.
He's just chilling.
So the gap between Stallings and Grosso is 47 seconds right now.
Stallings is not closing down.
No, he's still a half second slower on that last lap.
Grosso has been unbelievable all race. Casey Tomlinson has had an incident. He's going to drive away. You see him on the bottom of the screen there.
Looking at the notes there, looks like Grosso is the season 6 champ.
Yeah, defending champion. Unfortunately, not able to race for the championship this year, but definitely giving a show on why he was champion last year.
I mean, half the time that he started a race, he was inside the top 10, so definitely has some skills that he is showing here at New Hampshire. Six cars on the lead lap right now.
Yeah, the battle of attrition really showing its hand here today. Bob Wyckoff, the final driver on the lead lap, looks to be at risk of going a lap down. Michael Gerby
Again,
finally decided to jump into the pits. He has just been struggling all day, has not had the race that he has wanted.
yeah, it looked like he got loose again and had enough. Yeah, it looked like Angel Hernandez was going to come out of the pits, but he went right back in.
Yeah, after a 47-minute repair, came out to complete a lap and pulled it right back in. Got about 4 laps complete before he passes Michael Gerby.
Grosso trying to put Wyckoff the lap down. And then Chris Smith is also up there as well.
Yeah, you can't imagine Bob Wyckoff is going to put too crazy of a fight up here, but when you're the last guy on the lead lap, you definitely don't want to go down a lap in case caution does come out.
Yeah, you just don't want to make sure you're not involved in anything either. So trying to race clean but stay in front as he is trying to put a move there on Chris Smith.
Big send to the bottom for Wyckoff. That's not exactly what you want to see if you're Grosso. You don't want to see these guys getting racy in front of you, as now he's going to move down to the inside of Wyckoff. Try to put him a lap down. Wyckoff doesn't want to give it to him. I'm not sure he's going to have much of a choice as he slides up the racetrack. Now he comes back down, keeps it off the wall, and hits Grasso.
Oh, wow.
And that's the first bit of contact on Grasso's car all night. Hopefully there's not damage to the toe, and he's going to bring it in.
Grasso's like, dude, I'm done. I'm going to come in, get my pit stop.
We are about at the halfway point in this stage, but Curtis Kelly
went around.
I think he just locked it up trying to make it into the pits. Knew that Grasso had to come in. How much damage, how much repair is there going to be on that 23 machine? Bob Wyckoff has crashed and jumped it to the pits, putting 5 drivers on the lead lap. Charles Robertson is your race leader over Tristan Bailey. Is there a chance that Robertson can make it to the end on fuel? I think it's unlikely, but if a caution comes out, he's going to be in one of the best seats he could be in. Robertson comes into the pits. Tristan Bailey stays out.
Tristan Bailey now back up front. He definitely has been fighting the car more than almost anybody else. We've seen him go around 3, 4, 5 times, just getting loose. Probably coming to the throttle a little bit too soon on corner exit, but he is going to lead some laps here in that Granite State 200.
Yeah, hoping for a caution to come out. Joshua Grosso is back out onto the racetrack. It really looked like he spent much time repairing that damage. No, you can see the right front still crinkled up. Took 4 tires and just got out of there. He doesn't think the damage is going to be too bad. He just decided, all right, if that's going to be what happens, I'm going to get away from this. The best way to do it is pit stop. Got 10 seconds.
Grasso back up to P2.
Got 12 seconds between him and Curtis Kelly right now. Numerous drivers that haven't pitted yet. Tristan Bailey. Oh, and there's Maddox around on the front stretch. Made contact with the inside wall, but no caution.
62 back out on track, and behind him, Chris Smith is leaning all over the 33.
That's not permanent position. Brendan Maddox, multiple laps down. Grasso is now 2.5 seconds behind the race lead, Tristan Bailey.
The question will be, does Tristan Bailey have enough fuel to make it to the end?
I don't think it matters at this point. Grasso was way quicker.
No, I'm thinking more of championship status than winning the race, but
Chris Smith comes into the pits. Gotta feel like if you're Tristan Bailey, you're banking on a caution before you have to pit.
well, the way everybody had been driving on fresh tires before, if they came down this time, got fresh tires, I would be banking on a caution coming out. But one thing, looking at the pit the pit times, Curtis Kelly doesn't look like he took 4 sets of tire, or a complete 4 set of tire. Looks like he probably only took right sizes. He was only in his pit box for a little over 9 seconds.
Yeah, and doesn't look like it's the right call here, as he's now over 15 seconds back. well over a second a lap slower.
Grasso with the
Oh,
lead.
might have been no tires. Grasso taking over the race lead. Tristan Bailey already almost a second back.
And from Stallings to Grasso, it's almost 17 seconds now.
Grasso has been unbelievable from start to finish. It's impressive. We still got 25 laps to go, 26 when they cross the line. Grasso started up front. He hasn't looked back at all.
It looks like Bob Wyckoff is in the pits. Still after some hard racing early in the race here.
We'll see what these guys have. Tristan Bailey staying out on the racetrack right now. 25 laps to go. And just bear in mind, if we do get a caution, it's only 25 minutes left in the session. Angel Hernandez is back out onto the racetrack. He's past Michael Derby. Gonna try to get around Justin Barkley as well. Got about 15 laps to do that.
I was kind of surprised that Barkley decided to get back out on the track. I mean, he's locked into the championship 4 with the win, so nothing really he could do as far as getting an advantage or anything like that when he was able to get back out on track.
Well, I mean, you may as well just run it. May as well try to finish it out. Get a couple more points. I know they don't really matter when you're locked in, but
Wow. All I can say is wow. I mean, Grasso is lights out tonight.
yeah, he is in a league of his own.
Have to put that car in lockdown and send it off to get inspected with the beating he's putting on the field tonight.
He has definitely put down a beating here today.
The gap is 20 seconds now from Grasso to Kelly.
Kelly and Stallings are starting to heat up that battle once again. Half a second separate the two. And if Kelly didn't take tires, I think this might be a pretty easy pass for Stallings as he closes in off of turn number 4. Just in front of these guys. Curtis gets a little bit loose coming up. Oh, contact with the 33. Red Maddox gets loose coming up off of the corner. Tristan Bailey has to leave.
Oh, Tristan Bailey.
Tristan Bailey has to leave. He has more important things at hand, and so he's going to relinquish his position on the racetrack and puts him, or rather makes this a race for second place as Dustin Stallings, A little bit loose from Curtis Kelly on entry there. Stallings got a big time loose on entry. He's going to be able to complete that pass for second. They are 22 seconds behind the race lead. More of a slide there out of Curtis Kelly. Less than 20 laps to go. Grosso almost has this whole field a lap down, the top 5. The only driver still on the lead lap. Josh Grosso leading over Dustin Stallings, Curtis Kelly, Charles Robertson, and Chris Smith in the top 5. Joey Maines, the first car, 1 lap down in 6th. Adrian San Jose Arenas, Tristan Bailey is off track. He will be falling down. Franz Brutschneider and Shane Griffin.
Yeah, with Bailey having to leave, it's going to definitely tighten up that points battle there.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that, but obviously we'll just hope for the best for Tristan Bailey. And an online championship was cool and all, but Charles Robertson looks to be in a good position to try to advance. Joshua Grosso has lapped all but 2 other cars, Curtis Kelly and Dustin Stallings. I keep saying Shillings. I apologize for that. So Josh Grosso has 15 laps to try to lap everybody. And you know what? I'm all for it.
He's got to make up 5 seconds, a little over 5 seconds. Ish.
We haven't seen this dominating of a performance at New Hampshire since Jeff Burton went flag to flag in the restrictor plate race. And I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. Last time around, half a second quicker than second place. Almost a second quicker than Curtis Kelly in third.
Well, that gap's 27 seconds now. Maddox sideways on the front stretch. Able to tow and get to pit lane.
$12 laps to go for Grosso here. 12 miles. 25 seconds is the gap. And at this point, I don't even think a caution flag would change anything.
No, he can see second and third place in front of him, so just drive through the corners. Maybe 10 laps to go once he gets to that start-finish line.
Yeah, I don't know how hard he's pushing right now, but no real reason to.
Well, I mean, other than trying to lap the whole field. I mean, other than that, there's none at all. He is now behind Kelly.
Do you think that's on his mind at all?
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of cool, but I mean, especially when you look at the field of some of these drivers in here. I mean, it wasn't a couple of their days here, but still pretty interesting to be able to say that you lapped everybody.
Goes to the inside of Curtis Kelly. Gonna put third place, 1 lap down. Kelly doesn't have much fight for him.
Yeah, there's no real point. Down the back stretch again.
27 seconds is the gap. 0.7 of a second quicker that last time for Grosso. Stallings is now going side by side with a lapped car. Might slow him down a little bit more. He's able to get around.
He's got a couple lap cars in between himself and Stallings, so
Dustin should be able to stay on the lead lap. Gap is over 27 seconds. Angel Hernandez back out onto the racetrack. Likely he'll get out of the way of his Toyota teammate here.
Five laps to go. Maddox moves down out of the way.
Even Sear, the next lap car. Here's gonna stay all the way up. Trying to get out of the way of Grosso. I think he can do it, man. It might be a last lap deal, and he might not have the desire to do it, but I think he can at least get there. 3 laps to go. Nobody separating first and second, but not in the way that we would have envisioned.
And Grosso's just dominating here.
Stallings starting to pull away just a little bit. We come to 2 laps to go. The gap is 28.6. I don't think Grosso's worried about anything right now. I think he's just cruising, trying to get these last 2 miles done. I don't think he wants to get up there.
Yeah, I think he's just content sitting here.
So the white flag is going to come in the air. For first place, Joshua Grosso. Second place is going to take the white flag in about 29 seconds. Joshua
Flagman.
Grosso has been phenomenal all day. He has not looked back. The Minnesota man has 2 more corners to get it done here before he gets to kiss a lobster. Coming up off of turn number 4, he's not racing for a championship, but Josh Grosso is going to take home the checkered flag in the Granite State 200 at New Hampshire International Speedway. Grosso getting it done here, and you know, some of the other drivers are jumping in here. giving him a little bit of grief, saying, "Did you even have fun?" Top 4 for the championship has definitely has a lot of storyline with it. We're gonna figure out as soon as we can who made the cut for the final race in Nashville. Grasso comes around. He's gonna burn it down. To quote Steven Sear, that was an old school ass whooping there.
Definitely was that. Burn it down, and then we'll get the drivers up here.
Yes, sir. And I said at the beginning of the show, the best driver was going to win this race. I didn't know that the best driver was going to show his hand on lap number 2, but the best driver won it, and, well, he never looked back.
No, like I said, I think he only spent about 8 laps not in first. Why don't you go ahead and talk to third place there? Liam, Curtis, yours.
Hey, Curtis, it's Liam up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, I tell you what, man, that car seemed slippy and slidey all day, but you were able to come away with the third place. Kind of walk us through how it was on the short run. You know, we had a lot of those at the beginning, but then we'll ask you a little bit about the long run in a minute.
We had a pretty good short run car. Felt faster at the start than we did at the end, obviously. I think we had second place car today. Grasso really had the field with that first place car, though. I feel like I had a bit better traction than people in throttle management during the early runs, but kind of got into some messes throughout the race, which hurt a bit of our downforce, I think. And at the end of the race, I made a bad pit call. I should have pitted earlier when Stalling did, and maybe not taking left sides, maybe taking all 4, and just had the faith that I could catch back up to him and not need the pit save time.
Yeah, and we definitely saw you racing with Stallings on numerous occasions before and after the pit stop. Walk us through how that long run car felt for you. We saw you sliding a bit, but also that race with Stallings that you had before the pit stop versus after.
The car felt good when I was on 4 tires late into the run. Obviously, I had to watch it out of 4 and 3 a bit, or 4 and 2 a bit. It would get a little dicey out of 2 sometimes if you weren't lining up the transition properly. Stalling was doing a really good job in 4, especially of getting down low, middle of the corner, and being able to drive out straight, which I wasn't able to do myself. So that was something I was trying to replicate throughout the later runs, but fighting with Stalling was a lot of fun, respectful racing, good time, and just he had the better tire call and the better pit strategy at the end, I want to say.
Well, coming through to the end, you finished third. You were a lap down, which is wild to think about in this type of race, especially with how caution heavy it was at the beginning, but you still came home with the third place. Is there anybody you want to thank for such a strong run here today?
No, just happy to run. Good league. Looking forward to the final next week.
Awesome stuff. We can't thank you enough for joining us here. It's been a blast, and yeah, we're looking forward to the final just as much.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the broadcast.
I'll get Dustin up here in the booth. Hey, Dustin, Mike up in the booth, man. How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad. Well, you started on the front row, and you were able to come home with a P2, one of 2 cars that were on the lead lap. Kind of walk us through how that race kind of shaped up, because in the beginning it looked like you were moving backwards in the field, but had a strong car late in the run.
Yeah, going into the night, I felt like this was not going to be a good race for me, but throughout practice, kind of had it somewhat figured out, and I typically am pretty good about managing my tires on long runs, and had a amazing qualifying effort that I had no like I no idea that I was going to be that fast, but yeah, the contact early on, the first corner, first lap, kind of set me back, and I just got the damage fixed and just kind of worked through the field and avoided all the chaos that was happening and managed to finish second. I was hoping the short pit was going to work, but I just did not have the pace that the 23 had.
Yeah, definitely. It looked like you were trying to do something, basically anything, to catch the 23 there. Came up a little bit short, but looks like 2 starts in this league, and you wind up with 1 top 5 out of the deal. Anybody you want to thank before we get you out of here tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank Rhea and all the admins that put this league together. I'm kind of part-time, just here and there, kind of getting more experience in these next-gen cars. And, I mean, so far, the 2 starts, I've had no issues with anybody. I had fun racing against these guys, and it's been super, super fun. And I appreciate all of them that's shown respect on the track, giving room where needed, but just appreciate all them. And I want to give a shout out to my wife and little daughter to kind of watch me the rest of this race, and glad I was able to put a good finish together for them. So, but also shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast. Y'all do some great work, and can't wait to go back and watch this. And shout out to, I think it's Curtis that finished third. Had a really fun time racing him. And shout out to Joshua there for just a dominating win.
Yeah, definitely, man. Well, congrats once again, and maybe we'll talk to you some other time down the road.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep. All right, Liam, I'll let you talk to race winner here.
All right, Josh, it's Liam and Mike up in the booth. You got a copy?
Sure do.
Well, I don't really know what to say. You just kind of drove away from these guys and never looked back. I think you led 192 laps. The only ones you didn't lead were under caution and racing people after that caution. An incredible performance here at New Hampshire. I mean, I guess my question is, what was in the fuel tank? What was on the tires? How big is your engine?
I don't think I can say that.
I'm kidding. No, dude, phenomenal run here. And, kind of walk us through the start of the race. We know it was super short run start of the race, but you're able to get away.
Yeah. It was just a lot of trying to get out in front and stay in front towards the start of the race, and then trying to just manage my tires as much as possible the back half. New Hampshire is always one of my stronger tracks, so I just tried to take advantage of that as much as I could.
Now, you seem to have tire management down better than anybody else here. And without diving too much into your secrets, what does it take to save tires at a big, flat track like New Hampshire?
It's all about throttle control. Like, that's the biggest thing on exit. You can really burn up your right rear if you don't have enough of finesse on the throttle.
Well, rock on. We saw you at the end. You lapped all but one driver. Was there any thought in your head of, I want to try to lap everybody?
Maybe. I was going a little bit faster those last couple laps. But I mean, it wasn't like a big worry.
You were going incredibly fast all race. The Minnesota man, who do you want to thank for helping you get it done here?
My whole team, like Angel, Michael, Shane, Charles, and Tristan. Charles had a decent race, but the rest of them didn't really have it go their way this week.
Well, awesome stuff, Josh. Congratulations on the race win. And we'll hopefully be talking to you again down the road.
Yeah, hopefully.
All All right, let's see if we can bring up the race results here. You're going to see a lot of plus numbers on the results here tonight as Joshua Grasso was able to bring home the win. Dustin Sollins, only car left on the lead lap. Curtis Kelly rounds out the podium in P3. Charles Robertson, Chris Smith, Joey Maines, Adrian Arenas, Franz Buschneider, and Shane Griffin were running at the end of the race. Tristan Bailey had to duck off and take care of more important stuff. Finishes still with the top 10 spot. Casey Tomlinson rounds out the top 11 here.
After that, we've got William Maddox, Steven Sear, Bob Wyckoff, Rhea Ferris, Brendan Maddox, Justin Barkley, Matthew Gary, Angel Hernandez, and Michael Gervey rounding out the top 10. Big Jim Johnson in 21st position, then Jason Ricketts, Alexander Monet, Michael Eberhardt, Jeff Weimer, Shane Posey, Matt Metler, and Larry Fairman rounding out the field. Actually, I believe we've got one more. It's on here. Christian Delgado finishing last here today. Well, we can't thank you enough for tuning in here live on Sim Racing Media. It's been a blast. iSNF is always a great time.
Yeah, it definitely is, man. Thanks for joining me once again here. Been a while since we got in the booth together. We're both usually producing other shows, but chances happened, and here we go. You're off to produce ECR. So road course racing, right?
Yes, sir. Watkins Glen. If you guys want to see some great action at Watkins Glen, tune in just about an hour on Sim Racing Media. We've got your fix.
Definitely. But from all the drivers of iSNF Next Gen League here and all of us at Sim Racing Media, I want to wish you guys a good night, and we will see you next time.